Chapter 104. Give me 1 minute. The room was clean and thickly carpeted. The edges of the tables and counters were wrapped in thick cloth. There was a fruit plate on the coffee table, but nothing sharp like knife or fork. "Dr. Gao, please come in." A woman in a white dress welcomed Dr. Gao and Chen Ge into the room. She looked to be in her 40s and took good care of her appearance. "Has Wang Xin's condition improved? I've given her the recommended sleeping pills and antidepressants, but the effect has not been as positive as I hoped." The woman smiled weakly. "If anything, her condition hasn't improved, but all the side effects did show themselves. Dry heaving, shivering, and shaking hands. She could not even grip the chopsticks during lunch, and the food fell all over the table. Dr. Gao, do you think Wang Xin can still be cured? Believe me, she will get better." The woman then noticed Chen Ge behind the doctor. "And this is?" "My name is Chen Ge." Chen Ge did not want to waste time. "Can I please meet your daughter?" "This." The woman turned to Dr. Gao to ask for his opinion. "I will join him." After Dr. Gao nodded, the woman reluctantly let Chen Ge into the room. "The child is in her bedroom. After having 1 spoon of lunch, she started wailing." The woman walked to a door. She knocked lightly on it for quite some time, but there was no response. She placed her hand on the doorknob, twisted, and opened the door a sliver. The woman sighed wordlessly before moving back. "Let's go in." Dr. Gao looked at Chen Ge. "Do not say anything to provoke the patient. Before you do anything, please discuss it with me." "Okay," Chen Ge promised before he was led into the room. The carpet in the bedroom was even thicker, and the edges of the cupboards and table were all sanded off. There was not anything sharp in sight. Even the windows were installed with anti-theft netting. There was not a bed in the room. Instead, there were 2 thick mattresses placed together. All of the decorations were white, and there were no personal effects. Dr. Gao moved to the side, and Chen Ge finally saw the woman he was looking for. A slender girl was lying on the mattress. The white shirt with a round collar barely covered up her frame. Her skin was white to the point it looked translucent, and she appeared fragile, like too violent a movement would cause her body to snap. Realizing that she had guests, the girl slowly sat up in bed. While Chen Ge expected a raging mental patient, the girl was surprisingly normal, if a little reticent. Dr. Gao squatted down beside the mattress to maintain a level eye contact with the girl and asked kindly, "Wang Xin, does your head still hurt?" The girl shook her head and took a glance at Chen Ge before putting her head down. "Then have you been sleeping?" Dr. Gao asked, but this time the reaction elicited was much more intense. She reached out to grab at her own hair, and when she released, there were strands of black hairs stuck between her fingers. That was how strong she was as she yanked her hairs out. "Still can't sleep, huh?" Standing up, the brows of the good doctor were deeply furrowed. Neither of the medicines had an effect. "Dr. Gao, may I speak to her?" "Wang Xin's current condition is considered stable, so go ahead." Chen Ge mimicked Dr. Gao and squatted down. The girl probably assumed he was also a doctor, so she did not show much resistance. She merely pulled her sleeves down to cover the red welts on her arms, which felt like they were the result of her own rabid scratching. The girl before him was frail. She gave the impression of a paper kite. Like a single thread was everything that connected her to survival. A single mistake, and she would be lost among the dark clouds before being torn apart by the storm. "Wang Xin." Chen Ge pulled out the ballpoint pen from his pocket. "Your friend wants to talk to you, so I brought her with me." Wang Xin glanced at the ballpoint pen but did not show any special emotion. She probably wanted to smile at Chen Ge's attempt at a joke, but found herself unable to do even that. Dr. Gao beside him and the woman who was eavesdropping at the door were confused. They did not understand what Chen Ge was up to. Chen Ge was not discouraged by Wang Xin's lack of reaction. He retrieved a piece of white paper from the desk and placed it on the mattress. He hovered the pen above it and prepared to start the pen spirit game. Chen Ge was facing away from Dr. Gao and facing Wang Xin. He moved his lips but made no sound as he mouthed the incantation to invoke the pen spirit. "Pen spirit, pen spirit, you are my—" As his lips opened and closed, Wang Xin's focus was slowly attracted to Chen Ge. She turned to look at Chen Ge fully, and reading the words on Chen Ge's lips. She flailed her arms around and shrunk back into the walls like she was reminded of something horrible. "What are you doing?" The woman dashed into the room to stop Chen Ge alongside Dr. Gao. "I'm helping her solve the issue in her heart." Chen Ge shielded the ballpoint pen in his hand. "No one knew what happened to Wang Xin, but that is the source of her illness. Just give me 1 minute. I only need 1 minute." His conviction was firm as he squatted beside the mattress with the pen in his palm. Initially, Chen Ge merely wanted to finish the pen spirit's mission, but when he saw how tortured the girl was, he felt the need to do something. "Why don't we give him a chance?" After a long confrontation, Dr. Gao chose to trust Chen Ge. "During my sessions with Wang Xin, she has never shown this kind of reaction before. Perhaps this is a good sign." Dr. Gao eventually convinced the woman, and they agreed to give Chen Ge 3 minutes. The two walked to the door, and Chen Ge stood up to close the curtains and the door. "Wang Xin, your friend has been trying to reach you." He placed the pen above the paper again and continued to chant. Pen spirit, you are my spirit from my previous life, and I am your spirit in this life." As Chen Ge continued to mumble, the girl hiding in the corner started to get increasingly feared. The nightmare-like memory that had haunted her for years started to appear in her heart. As cruel as it was, Chen Ge forced himself to continue. Not long after that, the pen hovering over the paper started to move on its own. Then, beautiful handwriting appeared on the white paper, handwriting that was different from Chen Ge's own. "Wang Xin, I really didn't expect that a mindless joke would create such a lasting wound in your heart. You must hate me very much, right?" Wang Xin was stunned when she saw the familiar handwriting. At that moment, her mind was blank. She also did not know what to think anymore. "You have nothing to do with my death. I merely wanted to scare you when I saw you coming with another friend. Who would have thought the rope would be too tight and the chair would slip? You did nothing wrong. It was a silly prank gone very wrong. I'm so sorry, Wang Xin. I don't ask that you could forgive me, but I hope that you can remove the bad memories from your mind and strive to live the best life on behalf of the rest of us." Chapter 105. Second Haunted House Worker. Looking at the series of words on the white paper, Wang Xin's emotions got increasingly amped up. She leaned forward slowly and actively reached out for the ballpoint pen in Chen Ge's hand. The cold fingers slid between Chen Ge's hand and the pen, and her arm kept shaking like she had experienced the body temperature from another human in the first time. She wanted to say something, but she had lost her voice. The 3 minutes soon ended, and the ballpoint pen started to move between them, but this time, only 2 words were written. "Good night?" The pen stopped moving and Chen Ge started to chant the incantation to send the pen spirit away. Opposite him, Wang Xin followed him as if involuntarily. Pen spirit, you are my spirit from my previous life, and I am your spirit in this life. If you wish to go, then please go ahead." When both of them finished the last word, the dam holding in Wang Xin's emotions broke, and the needle that had been stuck in her heart for so long finally fell out. She gripped Chen Ge's hands, and she turned her face to the side as if unwilling to let others see the pain that she was in. "The lights of the world have been extinguished, and everyone has gone silent. What am I to do all alone? Every feeling is wrong, and every road leads to a dead end. I don't understand what I have done wrong, but I seem to have turned into a monster." Wang Xin finally uttered the words that had been kept in her heart. She looked at the words on the paper before leaning down on the table, and her voice dwindled. "Help me. Drag me out from this world. I want release from this pain. Help me." Her forehead was pressed against the back of Chen Ge's hands, and her body lay down on the mattress. When her breathing stabilized, it seemed like Wang Xin had finally fallen asleep. "Good night." Chen Ge pulled his hand lightly away and placed a quilt over Wang Xin before leaving the room. Both Dr. Gao and Wang Xin's adopted mother were waiting outside the door. They wanted to know what had happened inside, but afraid of disturbing Wang Xin, they kept their inquiries in a soft voice. "How is Wang Xin?" Chen Ge pointed inside the room. "Already asleep." She's really asleep? Dr. Gao breathed in disbelief. He understood how difficult it was for patients with severe trauma to fall asleep. Normally, they would have to rely on medication. How did you do it? It's a long story. Chen Ge gave an explanation that was half true. When I was looking for inspiration for my haunted house at Muyang High School, I accidentally stumbled across some information related to Wang Xin's past and uncovered the reason for her depression. It appears like a scar was left in her mind after witnessing her friend's death while playing a game of pen spirit. Therefore, I used that as an opening. I simulated the pen spirit game she once played with her roommates and used that to tell her that it wasn't her fault. It was all just an accident. And it worked? Dr. Gao was impressed. The eyes of the middle-aged woman behind him were already wet. Thank you. I shouldn't have doubted you earlier. I'm sorry. It's fine. If anything, both you and Dr. Gao have done more than I did. Neither of you gave up on Wang Xin when she needed it the most, and that is the most important thing. Chen Ge praised both to the moon and back, improving their impression of Chen Ge. Wang Xin's adopted mother wanted to ask them to stay for lunch, but Chen Ge rejected it. When Wang Xin had fallen asleep earlier, the black phone had vibrated twice. He was in a hurry to look at its message. After exiting Fanghua, Chen Ge bade Dr. Gao farewell before getting on a bus to return to New Century Park. He sat on the back row, and after making sure no one was paying him any attention, he pulled out the black phone. Congratulations on completing 2-star scenario Muyang High School's hidden mission, the Pen Spirit's Wish. Activating the next part of the hidden mission, create mannequins for the 24 spirits to possess. Successfully completed the Pen Spirit's wish. Even though she still cannot see you, she is appreciative of your help. Would you like to employ the Pen Spirit as a member of the haunted house? Chen Ge clicked yes without reservation. Hadn't he been waiting for this moment for a long time? Spectres favored, congratulations on hiring a special type baleful spectre, the Pen Spirit. Chen Yalan, Pen Spirit. A fortune-telling opportunity daily. All questions must be within the Pen Spirit's power. The rate of a successful reading is 50%. Note: the Pen Spirit feeds on the visitor's frightful screams. The visitor's fear will improve the Pen Spirit's power. But if you keep the Pen Spirits isolated and depressed, she might decide to leave you. Chen Ge read the Pen Spirit's information again and again. He was quite excited. He had finally hired his first supernatural employee. This meant that his previous dream could be realized. He could create a theme park that he could operate on his own. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I'm sure more ghosts will join my team in the future. Chen Ge was very satisfied with the Pen Spirit. She could handle a small scenario all on her own, and her special talent could be incredibly useful. Chen Ge saw the next section of Muyang High School's hidden mission to build mannequins for the lingering spirits of the sealed classroom to possess. Even without the mission from the black phone, Chen Ge would have done that eventually. The phone call with Inspector Li had made Chen Ge understand why the 24 students had returned to the classroom. They were orphans, and Muyang High School was their home. With the unlocking of the new scenario, they had moved into Chen Ge's haunted house, not unlike Xiaoxiao's family. As I complete more trial missions, the underground scenario will only get bigger. I will need the help of these 24 lingering spirits to manage the sets. We both need the other. Chen Ge's plan was nice, but he needed to get the goodwill of the 24 spirits first. The first thing Chen Ge did after returning to his haunted house was sleep. He was truly exhausted by the events of the day. After being asleep for who knew how long, Chen Ge felt something crawling on his chest, like a kitten asking for attention. He opened his eyes blurrily and discovered he was hugging a small doll. Xiaoxiao? He rubbed his eyes and placed Xiaoxiao beside him. What's going on? You have a grown man like myself hugging a doll when he sleeps? Just imagine the impression it'll leave on my future wife if she sees me like this. After stretching lazily, Chen Ge glanced at the time. It was 11:59 p.m. Chen Ge put on his shoes and exited the staff break room to head for the first-floor bathroom. He merely had to pee, but as he entered the place, he discovered that the atmosphere inside the bathroom was not right. The door of the cubicle was swaying lightly, and a red hue could be seen coming from the mirror underneath the black cloth. Has the door in the mirror returned? He walked to the mirror and lifted up a corner of the black cloth. In the mirror that had cracked, the red door was half open.